Hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. Basically, I wanted to set up this channel to help foreigners, meaning non-Chinese, move to China, get a job here, work, live, pretty much anything that you need when it comes to getting to China. So I am reading this off my computer as I am recording it, so please excuse any going back and forth and stuff like that. So first of all, my name is Dennis. I'm an American living and working in China. I've been here for the past 2.5 years. I've always wanted to come to Asia, China, Japan, those type of things. I really have been fascinated with these places my entire life. I really love living in China. I decided to stay here forever after being here just a few weeks. Despite the craziness and frustrations that I have, I would not trade it for anywhere else in the world. So, let's get started. This first video is basically helping you, once you decide that you want to live and work in China, what do you do? Okay? So, most likely, you're going to want to be an English teacher or a teacher of another subject, but most of the time you're going to start off as an English teacher unless you have a specific degree in education. Let's say you have certification to be a history teacher, math teacher, whatever it is. Most of the time they're going to want you to be an English teacher to start until you get some experience. I have been an English teacher, math teacher, business, history, geography, government, American culture, I mean pretty much computers, anything you can imagine. So what happened was, a few years ago I posted my resume on a few job boards in China for teachers, and I got just hundreds and hundreds of replies for emails. I picked through a handful of them, narrowed it down, and I was doing anywhere from 12 to 15 interviews a day. Got down to the top 3 and went from there and basically, picked the school that I ended up being at for the last 2 years. I'm now at a new school, but I'll get into that later. So what do you need to be a teacher in China? First of all, you need a 4-year degree in any field, business, history, English, math, so forth, except religion. Okay? This is a very important point. I cannot stress it enough. Just leave religion back in the United States. The Chinese government doesn't want it here. They just don't want you teaching and trying to, what they feel is, convert Chinese to this religion, that religion, whatever it is. Now, it's not to say that there is not religion in China. There actually is quite a lot of religion in China, much more than you're going to imagine. Okay? Where I live is 1/3 of the population is Muslim, and most people don't even know that there are Muslims in China. I really didn't know much about it, but I'll get into that another time. So, you have your 4-year degree. You want to come here. First thing you need to do is make copies of your degree, get those copies notarized, apostilled, as well as your transcripts from your university. It's not always required, but it depends on the province that you're going to be working. Sometimes they're going to want you to have those extra, notarized documents. Other times they're not. So just have them just in case. It'll make things a lot easier down the road. Also, when you come, bring your diploma, your actual diploma, not copies, but bring it with you. Okay? Also, you're going to need to be a native English speaker. And what does this mean? It means that you have to be from the United States, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand, or South Africa. I know there's other countries that have English as a first language, or English as their native language, but those are the big ones. Okay? Here's the other thing. You have to have a clear accent. If you're from Georgia or Alabama in the United States and you have a heavy, thick Southern accent, probably not going to work out here. They want a clear, concise, direct English American accent. No slang, no dialects. I grew up traveling all over the United States, so I really don't have a set home. So my accent is not, you can't pin it to one place or the other. Okay? There are a few exceptions to the native English speaking thing. I've had some schools say yes, they'll take people from Europe. Okay? Yes, they will do, you know, German if they have English and they're very good at speaking English, but for the most part, stick with the English countries, the English speaking countries, okay? Next, you need a valid passport. Have a couple years left on before it expires. I'd say 2 or 3. Don't go, you know, don't come over here with 1 year and then, you know, your visa is valid, but your passport's expiring. You got to switch it over. It's a huge pain. So just don't do that. Just have a couple years on your passport. Okay, a TEFL or TESOL certificate. This is important. Many schools require it. Some schools will even provide it to you when you come here. They'll put you through a 1 or 2 or 3 week training class, and then after you finish the class, you get your certificate. If you want to get it, I would recommend getting it. I never had it. It would have helped. It will give you a little bit more negotiating power when you talk with the school. So you say, hey, I got a 4-year degree in history from, let's say, the University of California, and I have my TESOL certificate, so I am, you know, certified to teach English. I want a little bit more money. You'll probably get a little bit more. I'm talking 10%, maybe. Okay? Next thing you need is a clean criminal background check. So you have to go to your local police station, your courthouse, or whatever where you live, get him to give you a document that says you have no criminal record, you're clean, you're not a, you know, felon, whatever. If you have a criminal record, you cannot work in China. And it even says on the visa application to come and visit, have you had, you know, any criminal records in your past or anything like that? They don't want you here. Okay? Just forget it. Now, I'm going to touch on drug use real quick. I don't care personally if you do drugs, but the Chinese government does. So if you smoke marijuana, if you're from one of the states in the US that it's legal, and you come here and take a drug test and your blood test, because they will make you do a physical exam, they'll check your blood for HIV, AIDS, STDs, cancer, everything like that, and it pops up positive for drugs, you're gone. They're just not going to tolerate it. So if that is something that you feel strongly about, you know, it's my right to smoke or take this, fine with me, but not with the Chinese government. Okay? If you're sick with cancer or AIDS, they're not even going to let you in the country. Okay? Typically what happens is you'll get your physical in the States, or you can get it when you get here, and it takes like a week to get the results and everything like that. It's not a big deal. Okay, a couple other things you need to do. Create an introduction video, like the one I'm doing now for my YouTube channel. 1 to 3 minutes is fine. Just talk about yourself, your education, your background, hobbies, interests, and so forth. All schools, including me, if I'm going to help you find a job, I need this. This will gauge how well you speak English, how clear you speak English, and everything like that. I have had many people in the last week or 2 from South Africa sending me their videos. Yes, they speak English, but it's not clear. They speak too fast. They're mumbling. They have an you need to speak clearly. It's very important. You have to remember, Chinese is their first language, English is their second language. So if you speak too fast like this and you don't talk, you know, in a direct, easy manner, they won't understand you, and the school will say no. Okay, they just won't. So slow down, talk clear, enunciate, be confident, talk about yourself. Okay? Just like you're talking to a friend calmly. That will help you. If you have an accent, slow down a little bit more, and it will help you. Okay? I had to refuse people who had 5 years teaching experience, an English degree, because their accent was so thick that the schools just couldn't understand. Okay, so let's say they like your video. They're going to want to interview you, so have a Skype account ready to go. You'll probably do a handful of Skype interviews. You'll first want to talk with me, then I'll send you to one of one of the schools that I work with. That person, their headhunter or whoever it is in HR in their school, will interview you. Then they'll want to talk to another teacher who's probably an English teacher, then the dean, and then they'll make their final decision. I did sometimes 5 to 7 interviews per school. Okay, so once that's done, they're going to say, yes, we like you, we like your intro video, we like your credentials. All right, we're going to make you an offer. Now, a point that you need to remember is, where do you want to live in China? Huge country, about the same size as the US, so there's many different regions, different climates, weather, people, food, everything like this. These are things you have to take into consideration. Do you want to live in Beijing? Do you want to live in Shenzhen? Do you want to live in far western, China, where actually there are very few Westerners? Where I live, there's not very many foreigners here. Maybe a few hundred in a city of 3 million. Okay? You got to remember, if you live in Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Chengdu, they have bad air pollution. Okay, it's very bad. You're not going to be able to see a few feet in front of your face most days. Got to wear a mask, everything like that. That's one of the downfalls of living in those larger tier 1 cities. Now, the benefit is 2 benefits. One, you're going to get a higher salary, and 2, you're going to be around other foreigners, other Americans, Brits, Australians, and so forth. This, I think, is a pro and a con, being around foreigners. When you first get here, you're not going to know, where do I go shopping? Where do I go to eat? Where do I go to pay my electric bill, my water, this? How do I do this? Okay? Where's the hospital? Those foreigners can help you get set up. The school should set you up with an assistant that helps you. If you have any problems, you call them. They can do this. But I'll talk about that in my second video. I had a lot of trouble with my so-called teaching assistant. So, I prefer to be away from foreigners. I want to be with locals. It helps me learn the language, the culture, appreciate things. I like to learn it as I go. I don't want to have, a cushion, too much of a cushion when I'm here. So those are, that's purely up to you, your preference. If you want to be around a lot of, people from your home country, that's up to you. The other thing you need to get is your visa. Okay, there are many types of visas to come to China: student visa, work visa, tourist visa, and so forth. I think there's like 15 different visas. You need a Z visa, okay, as in zebra, or zebra as they say in England and South Africa, okay? In America they say zebra. All right? So, let's say the school says, yes, we want to hire you. They're going to send you an offer letter. You print it up, you sign it, you scan it, send it back to them. All right, boom, you've accepted the position. What happens now? They're going to submit all your paperwork, your degree, your background check, blah, 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 to the Chinese government. And you're still in America while this is happening. Maybe a few weeks pass. They're going to send you the documentation. You need to take those documents along with your passport and the application fee, which is, I want to say, around $120 to $150 ballpark. You're going to want to check that on the Chinese embassy website in your hometown. You go in there with all that stuff, you give it to them. It takes a couple days. They give you your visa in your passport, and you are ready to come to China. Okay? Do not come here on a tourist visa, no matter what the school says. I actually did this. It is a huge pain in the ass. Just don't do it. You're going to actually have to leave China, go to Hong Kong, Japan, another country, go to the embassy there, and basically do what you should have done in the United States. Okay? Technically, it is against the law to work in China on a tourist visa. So I would not recommend doing it, even though I did it. Okay? And I'll talk about why I did that down the road. Alright, so this is the end of this first video. Hopefully my videos will get better as I do more of them. So if you have any questions, you can put your comments down below. You can always message me, and I will put my contact information on my channel page and everything like that. So just remember, it's chinaconsulting@mail.com, and my name is Dennis. And feel free, even if you are not using me to find a job here, you can always email me. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Remember, it's a 9 to 12 hour time difference between China and the US, or wherever you are in the world. Just take note of that. So it might take me a day or two to get back to you, depending on how busy I am. But please feel free to email me with any questions or any problems or concerns that you may have about China, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Alright, and I will see you guys in the next video, and have a good day. Bye.